What is going on, guys? BCD here, and today I just want to bring you a quick video. Kind of wanted to go over Google Stadia and revisiting that as a topic. Kind of want to just talk about the current price points for these two things. The price point for Google Stadia as well as the competition that just came out, and that is the Project X Cloud. And what's the difference in the key takeaways when you're kind of thinking about if this is something that you actually want to get invested in. So first off, I want to just start by saying, what are these kinds of products? Project X Cloud is a streaming service from Microsoft where you're able to stream video games directly to a PC or your phone for $10 a month. Project X Cloud is something that recently just came out, and it's bundled with Game Pass. So Game Pass gives you about 100 plus games and all of Microsoft's exclusives day one for $10 a month. That is a very low price point. That is kind of similar to Google Stadia's price point. Google Stadia requires you to the same thing for only $10 a month with some caveats. So one of the caveats is that in order to get the best experience, get 4K resolution, 60 frames per second, is to have a Google Chromecast Ultra. If you don't have that, that's not something you're able to get.
Listen to something on TV. Make sure your Chromecast is linked in the Google Home app.
Google.
Then say, play a nature documentary on YouTube on my TV, or play happy music on living room TV.
Thanks. So Chromecast Ultra is the way for you to get the best experience. So it gives you the 4K resolution, the 60 frames per second. It gives you the ability to, when it's shooting that signal back to the servers, it's giving you the lowest latency if you're using their actual controller versus just a regular Bluetooth. So it has a lot of caveats with it. It's not like Project X Cloud where it's very simplistic of what you can and cannot do, and it gives you kind of the same experience overall. It's kind of as if there are certain caveats that you want to have in place, like you want to have a landline in order to get the best experience where you can stream faster. And then the simple fact is how much it still costs. Because not only does the controllers cost $70, the Google Chromecast costs $60, but there's also on top of that you're paying for the games. Now for $9.99 you do get a couple games bundled in with your Pro package, because that's what the Pro package is, and they also offer a free version, which is pretty cool, where you can stream your games that you purchase on their platform for free at 1080p 60 frames. So that is a good way of not having to pay that $10 a month. And if you choose to buy into that ecosystem, you really only going to be paying for the games and nothing else. So that's a pretty cool thing to say. But the thing about that is that once you pay for that, you're kind of tying your digital games to that, because there's no physical discs. So it's not like you can get your money back if there was like a shutdown for that whole type of project where they no longer want to work on it or they no longer want to support it. I don't believe there's going to be refunds, issued. Obviously, that probably has some bad press, so it may be something like that occurs. But you have to be very trusting of the company to believe that they're going to continue to move forward with this technology and not just give up on it. And that's not kind of Google's strong suit, I would say. So you have to be cautious of that when you're thinking about Google versus Microsoft. Microsoft is probably going to be around for a while. That they're going to probably support it. They have server farms out the gazoo. I mean, Google does as well, but it's kind of the implementation of both companies seems as if Microsoft may have the better understanding of what the market wants or needs. So those are the price points. Google Stadia you can get in for free. You have a Bluetooth either controller or a PC that can run it, or not run it, but you can have a PC that can stream it. And then we have Project X Cloud with one package. You obviously still going to need a controller, a PC that can either stream it, or a smartphone. And then you have to pay that $10 a month. So that is something to keep in mind when it comes to the two. Outside of that in price point, there is an obvious winner when it comes to actually gaming on it and actually using that as a daily driver, and that's Google Stadia. Their servers are much stronger Their servers have the lower latency. Their servers can push to higher frame rates higher frames if you want it to say. So it gives you way more of a traditional console experience on Google Stadia because of those caveats, and because they're trying to push for something special. They kind of have to boost their technology to meet that, and that's why you have to have those certain caveats in there. Obviously, you can still use it on your smartphone and moving around, but as of now, they just started trying 4G and 5G because they want that experience to stay solidified throughout. They don't want it to feel different elsewhere, but they're still working on it. Obviously, that technology is going to keep ever evolving as long as they stick to it. Which one will give you more? I mean, obviously the Project X Cloud is the more beneficial. It gives you free games with it, so you don't even have to necessarily buy games. You can just play the 100+ games on Game Pass. So that's a huge benefit when you're thinking about price point. But yeah, it seems as if Project X Cloud has the better value again, but Google Stadia has the better product. So at least from my testing, I mean, I'm not an expert, but from my testings, what I found was that Project X Cloud had a lot more stuttering and was a lot, it had a lot more latency issues versus the Google Stadia had more of a solid console experience. But again, I was using those caveats to play it, so I wasn't, gaming on Wi-Fi. I wasn't using a regular Bluetooth controller. I was using a Stadia controller. I was using the 4K Ultra or the Chromecast. What I wanted to get across with this video is basically that what these two have in common, what they don't have in common, and kind of how they're pushing the technology forward. I still think it's a valuable market, and if I was to go with any of them, I would probably go with xCloud. If that was the only one that's the only one I could get, I would go with xCloud at this point, just because it's going to be able to play everything that's on Game Pass, and I have more things I want to purchase on there, because anything that I really want to play, I'm not going to want to stream it. So Project X Cloud would be a way for me to continue playing games that I may want to just pick up on while I have the console at home that I can play on its own. So it's like a nice supplement versus, switching over to be my main console. I think that's the kind of difference between the experience as well as what they're trying to market. They're trying to use that as a way for you to continue gaming wherever you want to be and to game how you want, versus it being replacing your system. It can, if you really wanted to, it can, but that's not something that I think we're ready for just yet. And I think that's why Microsoft is packaging it in that way. So that way, when people are ready, it's already a service there, and it's a service that's already been getting better. Google Stadia, I think the technology is there. They have the better technology. I think that is a no-brainer that they have the better technology. I just want to see them use it properly, and I want them to. They kind of have the same problem of Microsoft, where it's like, what are you doing to kind of make me feel special in regards to coming over there and staying in that ecosystem? And that's not really doing much. They're just focusing on the technology, which is great, and they're trying to make it better. But what are you kind of doing to make me feel as if my investment into you is going to be worth it? Like any exclusive, they had one, and it didn't do as well. But I mean, bringing exclusives over there, or now they have two, because they had the Orcs Die 3, I believe, and they had the Guilt. So they got two now. So that's kind of something where I'm showing that they may have promised where they're going to throw the budget towards it to actually get some exclusive games where people will want to engage in that way. I don't see them making much money off of it, especially if they have the free version. I don't really see how they can turn it into a profitable business, but you never know. As of now, I'm going to stick with my physical and use the Project X Cloud as something additional, because it's going to be free to me anyway. I already have Game Pass, so it's going to be bundled in. So it's really just a good way for them to, showcase what they're capable of, their technology, and get more people involved in the streaming of games. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Did you have any plans of using Project X Cloud at all? Or is it more so just, have you tried Google Stadia? Do you really care for these services? Do you think it's the future? Pretty much you can let me know all that down in the comment section below. I actually like to read what you guys have to say because sometimes it is very interesting. So yeah, leave it down below. And that's pretty much it. If you like this commentary, don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. Talk to you in the next one. Peace.